I think we'll get started. Good morning. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being in attendance. This Procurement Policy Board meeting will now come to order. I'll invite each member of the board at this time present to state their name for the record.
Barbara Rice.
Dustin Solariaga.
Lisa Flores.
Sergio Paneca.
And Alexandros Katsakis. Thank you. So we do in fact have a quorum, so we'll get started. I'd like to now ask each other person in the room to state his or her name for the record. And just before we do that, I do want to remind everyone that this is not a public hearing. This is a meeting of the Procurement Policy Board to review certain rules for introduction into the CAPA process. So please do just state your name for the record so we can ensure that everyone is accurately reflected.
Dan Simon, Director of Mayor's Office of Contract Services. Victor Rolls, General Counsel, Mayor's Office of Contract Services.
Rodrigo Mora, Chairman, Hispanics in Real Estate and Construction.
Mahendra Patel, MP.
Andy Sweeney, Contractor Compliance.
Sandra Wilton, Bradford Construction, MWBE for the Mayor's Advisory Committee.
David Garfinkel, Associate General Counsel at Monks.
Mercedes Villar, I'm fellow at the Mayor's Office.
Colleen Walter, DVB National, I'm also on the DVB Advisory Board for the Mayor's Office.
Carter Lard, Linda Aiken, NWPE.
Sadaf Sial, the New York City Network of Liquor Properties.
Gail Bartholomew, Crescent Consultant, MBE.
Gabby Ambrose, Getco Engineering, MBE.
Anthony Peterson, Crescent Consultants, MBE.
Hi, Ray Medina, Mayor's Office.
Brian Ansari and Associates.
Emily Tabarth, Chief Contracts and Real Estate, New York City Law Department.
Marvin Dees, Deputy General Counsel, Comptroller's Office.
Carly Ansari,
Ajay Robinson, PC.4U.
Sanjay Nayak from the Nayak Group, MBE, and also representing Alliance for Asian Architects and Engineers.
Angie Williams, Legal Analyst, Knox.
Michael Cedillo, Mayor's Office.
G. Corn Box.
Shannon Wright, Mayor's Office of MWBE.
Sava Devasu, Mayor's Office of NWPE.
Ryan Murray, Monks.
Vincent Verdetti, Box.
Jennifer Guyland.
Thank you. So the business in order for this meeting is the vote of certain rules into the citywide administrative procurement procedures act process. So I'll refer to that for the remainder of this meeting as CAPA. The potential form of these amendments to the proposed rules are included on the PPB webpage, with the understanding that these are drafts and they may change as they make their way through the CAPA process, and will require a subsequent vote by the PPB for adoption. So the first item for today is to vote into CAPA, a rule that relates to amending Section 3-02 of the PPB rules relating to competitive sealed bids. At this time, I'd like to recognize Dan Simon to speak further on the item.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. The Procurement Policy Board proposes to amend Chapter 3 of Title 9 as the rules of the City of New York to apply the quantitative preference for best value competitive sealed bids to vendors certified with the State of New York or the City of New York as a minority or women-owned business, commonly referred to as MWBEs, pursuant to Article 15A of the Executive Law or Section 1304 of the Charter. Further, the proposed amendment allows the quantitative preference to be adjusted with permission of the CCPO. This proposed amendment is required by Charter Section 311I2 as it was amended by Senate Bill S. 7293 on April 18, 2018. In support of amending the rule, the text of the potential amendment is described as Item 1 on today's agenda, which is featured on the calendar portion of the PPB webpage.
Is there a member at this time who wishes to make a statement or ask a question on this matter? Hearing none, is there a member that will please make a motion to move this item?
Motion.
Will another member second? Now I'd like to ask each member on the PPB to vote on the item. All in favor in amending this rule into the CAPA, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Let the record show that item 1 is voted into the CAPA. The second item for vote into CAPA relates to amending section 3-03 of the PPP rules relating to competitive sealed proposals. Again, I'd like to recognize Dan Simon to speak further on this item.
The Procurement Policy Board is proposing amending Chapter 3 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York to expand the application of the quantitative preferences that can be given to certified MWBEs. First, similar to item 1 previously discussed, the rules needed to be amended to comply with the amendments to the charter by the state legislature that requires the preference to be applied to both state and city certified MWBEs. Second, the best value provisions of section 3-03 should be applied to professional services as authorized by Charter Section 311I2. Additional changes are contemplated to allow for adjustments to the applied quantitative preference upon approval of the CCPO. Third, the provision relating to the procurement of construction-related consulting services which are awarded through qualifications-based selection should be amended to allow for a quantitative preference of 5% to be applied to state and city certified MWBEs. In support of amending the rule, the text of the proposed amendment is featured as item 2 on today's agenda.
Are there any members at this time that wish to make a statement or ask a question on this proposed item? Hearing none, is there a member that'd like to make a motion to move this item? Is there a second? All right, we'll now vote. All in favor to move this amending rule into the CAPA, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? So let the record show that item number 2 is voted into the CAPA. All right, and the third item on our agenda and our final item relates to amending the MWB non-competitive small purchase mechanism. Again, at this time, I'd like to recognize the Director of the Mayor's Office for Contract Services, Dan Simon, to speak further on this item.
The Procurement Policy Board is proposing amending Chapter 3 of Title 9 of the Rules of the City of New York to amend the mechanism so it can be used for purchases up to $500,000 and for construction. The charter was recently amended through legislation signed by the governor allowing for this increased usage. In support of amending the rule, the text of the proposed amendment is provided as item 3 on today's agenda.
Thank you. At this time, is there a member who would like to make a statement or ask a question on this matter? Okay. Hearing none, is there a member that'd like to make a motion to move this item? Motion. Thank you. Do I have a second? I'd now like to ask each member of the PPP to vote on this item. All in favor to vote to amend the rule into the CAPA, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? Let the record show that item 3 is voted into the CAPA. So again, for the benefit of everyone in the room, just again want to remind that this in fact is not a public hearing. This is a meeting of business for the Procurement Policy Board. So the record will show that these 3 rules have been voted into the CAPA process, at which point we do invite everyone to be on the lookout for the scheduling of a public hearing. Appreciate everyone in attendance today, but that concludes our agenda for the day. So thank you, and the meeting is adjourned.
Round of applause, I think, is necessary.